Seth Rollins shoots on tacky and desperate AEW product. Plus, John Cena praises a spectacular AEW star. And Paul Heyman is possibly teasing the WWE run for MJF. It's all in the wrestling news right now. It's Gruntilda from Banjo-Kazooie.
Or Cyril Sneer.
Or Cyril Sneer from the Raccoons. Run with us, said Seth Rollins in his interview with Sports Illustrated. He didn't say run with us. He was talking to Sports Illustrated about a number of things. And he talked about using Dean Ambrose / John Moxley's name in the work he did with Roman Reigns recently, and saying how it was appropriate for the story and stuff. He then went on to talk about how AEW stars tend to bring up WWE in some of their creative. We've seen Punk in particular throwing a few barbs.
Understandably, yeah.
Nods from back in the day. Taz talking about a sloppy shop. There have been others as well.
Taz as far as last week.
He's one to have a go. But Seth Rollins, on that matter, said, it's one of those things where if it's very useful, it's fine. I didn't use the reference to Mox to talk down somebody. I wasn't trying to diminish anyone's accomplishments. It wasn't like that. He's part of our story. Roman wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for Mox and I. The other side of that coin is the way that it can be used by both those guys. So used by those guys. They can do whatever they want. I find it very tacky, though, and lowbrow, personally. I think it looks and reeks of desperation. Now, I don't think it's anything on our television show that we need to go there and talk about those guys. So they say we don't need to talk about AEW. They are doing their thing. They're doing it very well. We're very happy for them. I am, at least, personally. Are they on our level? No. They have a long way to go to catch up to us. That's fine, and they know it. They do things differently. From my perspective, it's a step down for us to use it as an insult. That's my perspective. People may not share that opinion.
Burn it down. Look, there's a couple of things you got to take into account here, and one is that WWE is very low-hanging fruit, Seth. So, like, it's. I think WWE are the number one wrestling company in terms of probably, scale in the world.
Really.
They're WWE. They were the only game in town for so long that they are just wrestling to quite a lot of people. Your average Joe on the street, you're wrestling, they go, oh, John Cena. Yeah, like they'll just immediately go to WWE. So I think a lot of that sentiment comes from, WWE is the market leader. AEW is very much the competition in that regard. And AEW's fan base tends to be people who are sick of the WWE product, who are sick of all of the tropes, who are sick of all of that stuff. Or it's people who are watching both and don't really care about the back and forth barbs or find them cool. But at the same time, I think it's sort of leaning into that fan sentiment. It's like, hey, well, we are the alternative. Hey, look, we made a shot at them, and I don't think it's going to be around forever. But I think that it's being used in order to really firmly establish on TV that AEW and WWE are, very different products. AEW sees itself as very different from WWE, and then you've got the situations with people that have access to grind, like Punk. Yeah. Punk has, he's had access to grind about WWE since it all, happened with him initially before he left. So I think that in those cases, it's again understandable that that's going to be what comes out of his mouth when presented with the opportunity. So I kind of see why he's like, it's a bit tacky and desperate, because it is kind of like, well, you stop mentioning them. But at the same time, I understand it, and I think that within a couple of years, it'll probably have petered out. And
I hope it does. I don't think they need it. I know what you're saying in the sense that, they're very much a different
It's like a big marquee
product
that just says, we're not WWE, we're very different, and it's flashing, and it's all neon, and everybody's going, oh! And then once everybody's awake to it...
Yeah. Because you and I both buy into the concept of show rather than tell.
Yeah.
So they can show that they show they're different every week by putting on really, really good shows. On the whole, not perfect, but very good shows that feel very different to WWE. And you can show rather than tell. Seth did that interview, and then he went onto Twitter just to troll us for a bit, which was nice. He put out tweets of Mustafa Ali, Scott Steiner, Rob Van Dam, John Cena, and Veer Mahan, teasing who his WrestleMania opponent could possibly be.
Screw Cody. Just screw Cody. I want Scott Steiner. Don't dangle that in front of me.
This is it now. You've potentially offered us Scott Steiner.
No, he's offered us Scott Steiner. He sent a GIF with Scott Steiner. Therefore, in my head, those other GIFs don't exist. Nothing else exists about the build-up to this match. It's Scott Steiner versus Seth Rollins, and I will write a letter of complaint to Stamford, Connecticut. I'll find the address. It's probably on Google. I'll write a letter of complaint if it's not Scotty. And it better start with a weightlifting contest first.
Yeah. Then push-ups.
And he comes out with a tiger.
If he doesn't go out with the
It's
tiger,
got to be a greatest hits run for Scott Steiner.
Yes. Do you reckon? This is completely off the track of the news. I apologise. Do you think Bron Breakker will come out with a tiger? Takeover. I can't say the T word, can I? Stand and deliver.
I don't think they do it anymore. Especially after the whole Pharaoh situation with fireworks and everything. I think the opinion of animals in front of large, loud audiences is slowly starting to change for the better.
He should come out with a stuffed tiger.
I believe the Steiner tiger thing was mental, though, because he was just like, I want a tiger. And people thought he was joking, and it was like, let's get him a tiger.
Bless him. So, moving on from Seth Rollins and his comments towards AEW, John Cena's really high on one particular AEW star. Isn't he, Sam?
Yeah, he was speaking to Forbes magazine, and he was very complimentary of Max Caster from AEW, in particular, his rapping abilities. He said, he's extremely gifted. I remember hearing him for the first time and asking a good friend of mine to please pass his information on to me. I immediately checked out his raps out of the blue, and I saw that what he was doing was spectacular. I wish him all the best of luck, but I can't really give him any advice because he's punching far above my weight class. He's very gifted. He's gifted enough to rhyme to the beat live, where I kind of did my stuff a cappella to let the punchline sink in. Hip-hop constantly evolves and it constantly moves forward, and he's the better version of what I did. And then he went on to say he's really, really spectacular, and as long as he keeps everything in realistic perspective, he shows great potential. Wow. So John Cena, really high on Max Caster here.
Really glowing review of Max Caster from John Cena. Love to see it. I really want to taste
if you were Caster right now.
Oh my God, you'd be over the moon. Like Cena giving you all that love. Peacemaker giving you all that love. God bless him. Cena also did an interview this week with Jack King of GQ UK.
Wait, is he moonlighting?
Oh, hang on a minute.
Get up them stairs.
I think it's disgraceful that Jack is working at another place as well as Cultaholic. Jack King of GQ UK asked John Cena if he missed WWE, and he said, I miss it every day, every single day, but I'll be 45 on April the 23rd, and I was very fortunate to make it as long as I did with only minor lists of injuries. Nothing that has changed the trajectory of my long-term health. I'm strong, flexible, and in really good shape externally and internally. All right, show off. I think now, being a full-time touring performer might start to hit that point of diminishing returns, and I have to be realistic when I look at it. So John Cena bigging up a younger talent and saying, oh, I ain't going to do any comebacks. Like, what a guy.
It makes sense. Like, Cena's gone off to Hollywood, and as much as he's going to, do what The Rock did, and the WWE's always my home. Yes, he came from WWE, and yes, he's probably always going to be around for, a little pop-in every now and then. Every couple of Manias, he'll pop up or something and just be like, hey, it's a segment. But it's slowly going to be that he's not going to be wrestling, and maybe he'll just kind of appear for like a moment like, The Rock did at Mania 32. I think it'll be such stuff more like that. But at the same time, I like it because we and I like a lot of the older guys, I do. I really like a lot of the older guys, but we sort of need to get the average age of wrestlers down a bit. We've got to start trying to get the average age down, because if we can do that, then we can focus on the new stars without having to worry about, not even worry, but be like, oh my God, that star I really love is coming back, and then getting blinded by, somebody who's just on kind of a bit of a, legacy return. Yeah,
we need to be more invested in the stars of today and enjoy the stars of tomorrow, but really focus on the light of the stars of today.
Yeah.
That's deep thoughts, and I like it. One of those stars for tomorrow is potentially MJF. Lots of conversations about him this week. We mentioned this week about how there was some issues with him, with Tony Khan, and MJF said he wanted his issue is about money.
Yes.
Because he signed a contract when he was relatively sort of in the mid-card, and then he just went whoop, And he's working with big money people. And now
on the point of this, it felt like AEW was really kind of pushing for that sort of sports style signings where it's like, oh, they signed for this much money for this many years.
Yes.
And it's like, well, you can't complain if that person's then going to turn around and go, well, whoever gives me the most money, I'll go work for him, because that's really the nature of the business.
That is the nature of the beast.
You know, you're not getting paid, then don't take any bumps.
No. Paul Heyman had some nice things to say about MJF with Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour. And he said to Ariel, I saw your show with MJF. I understand what he's doing, and it's smart negotiating on his part. When asked if he was impressed with MJF, he said, yeah, of course I am. He's Jewish. And then he went on to say, why wouldn't I be? He's very credible on the mic. Incredible is not a compliment. Incredible means he's not credible. He is credible. He's very good at what he does. He's very young and has a big future ahead of him. He said he's never met MJF, but when asked if he could see himself aligning with MJF, Heyman said, we're a long way right now. He is in an enviable spot in an upstart promotion that has tremendous financing and excellent distribution. Let's see what the future holds for him. I'm sure at some point in his life, we're going to bump into each other. Now, Paul Heyman's just signed a long-term deal with WWE. So
yeah.
That to me suggests that, you know what, 2024 is not that far away.
WWE would be stupid if they didn't even want MJF. There's got to be every single alarm bell ringing every time he so much as sneezes. It's going to be like, you know, does he want to leave? Would he come to us? Like, MJF's going to be wanted by many, 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 many major promotions, I think, the second his contract starts to expire. None more than AEW, I believe, but WWE will be desperately trying.
But what's nice is that WWE can go, oh, it's money you like. Well, let me pull this bag out.
Let us just report some budget cuts and take care of some stuff, and then we'll hire you.
Then let's talk turkey. Yes, MJF, very highly thought of by Paul Heyman. Not a bad position to be in.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Twitch.tv/Cultaholic. If you're watching this in the afternoon, I'm on till 3 with a very special 2K22 presentation of Cultaholic WrestleMania. Did you ever wonder what would happen if Pablo and Mr. Happy finally decided to settle the differences that they probably have as two black cats owned by people from Cultaholic?
Well, they'd probably both job out to Cooper, who would arrive and just absolutely decimate them.
That is the story to tell. Who knows? That might even happen. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic. Cooper running, there's an idea. Yeah. And then you're on tonight at 6 p.m. GMT.
6 p.m. UK time. You know what it is. It's Thursday. It's the Thursday before a WWE pay-per-view. It's the Thursday before WrestleMania 38, which means it's Marble Mania. And if you haven't ever done Marble Mania, if you don't know what the hell Marble Mania is, tune in. It's easy. You do one thing and you play a game remotely with loads and loads of people.
It's a lovely time had by all, and as are these boys, which are available at cultaholicshop.com. 38% off until Monday.
We're back!
No!
We're back! We're back!
Why you do this? Why you do this?
1, 2, 3.
Oh! Love you, bye. You failed me!
38% off all of cultaholicshop.com. WrestleMania weekend. It's available from now until Monday. Yeah, get in. Get in. Save some money.
That was tacky and desperate creative.